We learned that. It is super dusty here. We are home. The most impressive part. Good morning, guys. We finally made it to Arequipa. We ended up taking a bus from Cusco to Arequipa, and if you follow our Instagram, you'll know that it was against my better judgment because it was scheduled to go for about 10 hours, which it did. It was pretty much on time. But guys, the bus was so cold. The windows froze over, like a sheet of ice inside the bus. It was so cold. Definitely would not do that bus line again. For now, one of the things that Jay and I like to do when we first get into a new city, I mean, we've done some kind of like looking on the internet, but we are going to take a bus tour this morning. It's 4 hours. We're going to have somebody just drive us around, enjoy the weather. It is absolutely beautiful here in Arequipa. The elevation in Arequipa is 7,600 feet, so a lot lower than Cusco, but can still feel the altitude a little bit, but definitely not as much as Cusco. And I'm happy to report that it is beautiful, sunny, and warm. Even though I'm wearing a sweater and a buff, I'm going to be taking that off shortly because it is nice and warm, and it's only about 9:30 this morning. So we are going to hop on the bus and take a tour of the city. Been on the bus for like 10 minutes and we stopped, saw two volcanoes, which I didn't think they're volcanoes. When you're in the square and you're looking at the cathedral, you can see them in the background. We learned something today. We didn't learn anything, we learned that. One thing I did want to talk about was when we were in the square downtown and you look at the cathedral past to the mountains in the background, or volcanoes now that we know. It is so hazy here, and I don't know if it's pollution, if it's fields burning. I don't know exactly why it's so hazy, but it looks like dusty all the time. We find ourselves in a quarry. It is super dusty here. This is pretty cool. They use this quarry and all the stones. They call Arequipa the White City, and all of the stones that are made from this quarry are used to build all of the buildings that you see in Arequipa, including the Plaza de Armas, where all the cathedral is, and just the main square. It's absolutely beautiful. But from what I understand, this quarry is lava from volcanoes. I have never been in a quarry before, so this is a first. So we find ourselves again in another quarry. This is the Dust Bowl tour. Now I understand a little bit why it is so dusty here in Arequipa. Oh my gosh. Just being like in amongst this little quarry, it comes down into like just a little pathway here. It is pretty neat. Makes you feel so tiny. I'm still trying to figure out what the difference is between this one and the one we were just at. The one that we were just at is white in color. This, I'm not so sure. It's still pretty cool. this hike. This is kind of cool. It almost feels like a riverbed because the rocks are so smooth. It's very cool. And again, makes you feel like you're this big. We are alone. The one thing about doing tours, you're always in groups and groups of people. So our guide was telling us that these rocks, or the petrified lava, is just pink here. That's the only difference. What makes it pink? I don't know. I am not a historian, and I will never pretend to be. I just think it's kind of cool. We have to climb up this really steep hill to get out of the quarry. Come on, Jay, you can do it. Walking up this hill is like walking in sand. It's so fine that there's no steady ground. So, wow, there's a lot of little statues up here. When you come out of this quarry, they do have some statues from the white quarry at the top of the hill here. It takes months and months and months for them to carve these. And when we were walking through the quarry, the white one, the rocks sounded hollow. And when I went to pick it up, it was so light. It was just amazing. Not what you would think when you pick up a rock. So this was my pick for the day. I think Jay wanted to do the city tour, but I get to feel like a geologist for a day. I think it was pretty cool going through the quarries and checking it out. And I've never been in a quarry, and it's nice to know the significance of the white stone to the city of Arequipa. So I thought that was pretty cool. All right, so we made it back safe and sound. It is 6 p.m., but we decided to do the city tour as well. So let's hop on a bus and let's show you the city. One of our stops today was at the founder of Arequipa's house, and it's not owned obviously by him anymore. It's owned by 6 other businessmen, and they've kind of like built on. But the most impressive part of this whole building is the kitchen. The huge pots. They have this natural water filter that filters 1 liter of water in 5 hours. This is pretty cool. As we were walking around the grounds here, there are people constantly painting, they're working in the gardens. The gardens are beautiful, all different kinds of flowers, and they really do an awesome job of just keeping and maintaining the grounds here. It's absolutely beautiful. We have made it to the last stop, and we are at a watermill. There are many things to do near the watermill, and we chose not to go into the watermill because we've seen them before. But you can do horseback riding here, you can go quad biking, or you can go into the watermill. In total, this trip was 5 hours. It included a 1 hour lunch, which you had to pay for. And like the other tour that we did when we went to the Dust Bowl, you paid for the bus trip and then there were individual fees along the way. So just be mindful of that when you are booking these tours. It's not all inclusive. We also paid 35 soles each to go on the tour. The other Dust Bowl tour, we paid 25 soles each. We're gonna wrap the video up now. I wanna know, are you team city tour or team Dust Bowl tour? I liked both of them. They were both relevant to Arequipa's history, so that's what I really liked. I liked getting to learn a little bit more about Arequipa's history. If you like this video, give it a big thumbs up. Subscribe down below if you haven't already, and we will see you in the next one. Bye, guys.